Welcome to Story Ideas on the Fly.
Where we pick a random idea from a hat.
And then we just try to develop it.
If you like any of the ideas here, feel free to take them for your own stories.
Ideas are free.
All right, let's see what today's prompt is. Urban fantasy where protagonist has severe anxiety so he can kill monsters all day, but don't mess with his Skittles. Oh, this sounds like y'all. In other words, Daniel, the protagonist is you.
So, wait, can I...
Yeah, pull it out and look.
No, that's the wrong one.
I'll find it.
No,
All right.
Yeah, this one. Okay.
So I guess it could be not just anxiety, but OCD or some kind of
Yeah, it sounds more like OCD.
or social anxiety. It's just thinking someone with some really debilitating
Honestly, this sounds like more like like a small scale story with a bunch of action scenes in it. Because this sounds like the kind of thing where you're basically having a main character who is an absolute beast on the battlefield and can take out like 10 vampires at once. Just give him the right tool set.
Yes, but then
you
have to
put
ask
him
a girl
in
to the dance.
and suddenly he's
he's
petrified with fear, and instead he walks to her door, and instead of knocking, his brain immediately tries to find something else to do, so it goes, oh hey, that one leaf on that tree across the street is crooked. You need to trim that tree.
I could see that occasionally showing up in battles too, where he's fighting the
vampire
dragon in the middle of the night, and as he's battling, he goes,
wait. Stacks the stones on top of each other, pushes them in. Okay, now we can continue.
No, it wouldn't be that. It would be... Okay.
Not with the monsters.
No.
Urban fantasy.
Genre is
They
urban
said it.
fantasy.
I'm sorry.
No, the thing is, how do we want to develop his character? Because yes, it could be funny, but really, in their essence, this is a story about, well, probably about mental problems, like anxiety, OCD, and probably other mental illness. Autism.
Who knows?
Yeah.
And here's the interesting thing.
Asperger's Paradise. They make some great characters.
Here's the thing. If you make it about that specifically, you can't make Asperger's, autism, or OCD and things like that the sole conflict in a story, because you can't beat it. You can learn to live with it, but you can't
beat it.
Yeah, you can't punch autism in the face and no longer be autistic.
Erlor could, but we aren't Erlor, so
no.
Okay, we're not your overpowered character from that story.
Yeah. No, but we can. But you can.
So how do you
overcome
resolve
the fear to ask the girl out, or to getting.
So
a
what is the
girlfriend
actual
actually,
conflict?
If you have
is it getting a girlfriend when you have Asperger's? Is it what is holding him back in his
Okay, before we say you can't really overcome it, considering the two of the people at this table are in the spectrum and have very well overcome it.
I have not fully overcome it. I am still very much in the spectrum. I just live with it.
But to be able to overcome to the point where you're able to live with it.
But the people can, overcome very debilitating things, which could be part of the story.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
You're not chasing it away entirely,
but
you're
you
making it livable.
If the only conflict is I have this Asperger's, and then at the end he doesn't overcome it, but instead just kind of moves on. I mean, you could definitely make a story that ends that way on a very I can never overcome this, but I can live with it, and I can move on with my life.
Whether you
But-
overcome it, you can conquer it.
Yes, but that doesn't give you any cool climax. You need something epic for him to do.
Well, that is where you get a good setting to put him in, so he's up against something.
Yes, that's what I'm asking. What is he up against?
Okay,
That
so you
his
have to get
mental
him in a
illness is holding
For
him back.
example, if you look at the Department of Fae, my hero is Asperger's, very, very Asperger's, and he is so freaking cool, right?
Yeah.
And he never overcomes, the Asperger's, really. Okay, he kind of
Your hair's in
but
your eyes.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole
Your
point.
hair's in your eyes, guys.
The whole
Okay.
point is that he really learns how to deal with it, and it's a beautiful thing
He's
because
still
he
able
finds
to
a
shine
lot of
with it.
he finds the good side, and a lot of the power comes
So I
from
think
that.
hold on. I think in this one, what we do is instead of, I think your final battle, you do have to have like a giant
You have to have a cool, epic final battle.
dragon, robot, I don't know,
Werewolves,
something really
all that
cool.
fun
You have
stuff.
something cool for him to fight at the end, but you also, in the plan to defeat the villain, you have him in a situation where he has to overcome a social situation or an extremely hard social situation.
Something like maybe.
to help defeat the
Yeah,
monster.
I don't know if it's a
My
vampire
question, though,
lore.
from the beginning, though, was what is that social situation he
Okay,
has to overcome?
So here, you said urban fantasy, right?
Yes.
So perhaps we have people from another world, the fantasy world.
No, that's not urban
That's not
fantasy.
urban fantasy.
That's hidden world. This specifically said urban fantasy. You're thinking hidden world.
Okay, it still would work.
But if you have monsters at night, what if you have like a rock concert or a play or something where, usually urban fantasy is teenagers. What if you have some kind of gathering and the only way to save these people, what if your monster tries to
Is like the lead singer of the rock concert.
Yeah, or tries to come in and wants to come in and strike at the rock concert.
And so he has to get someone to invite him.
No. He doesn't have to get someone to invite him. What if it's like in the middle of a play is when this thing eventually strikes, and so he can fight monsters no problem, but in order to actually get to this fight, he is going to have to basically infiltrate like the play, and then he's going to have to be on stage in front of 100 people.
He's got to overcome his fears and overcome his social anxiety and get in front of people.
Yeah, that would work.
I still like some kind of, whether you want to do it from another world connected, because the prompt didn't say it had to be urban fantasy.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
That was the first two words. Was urban fantasy.
Urban fantasy.
Shows how much I was paying attention. I only read it. Okay, but if you have some organization then that is coming,
You might want to be on camera.
Oh, sorry. So you've got an organization that is coming after people, kind of, harvesting people in some way. We are using people, maybe putting them into slavery, working in mines, doing something, and
experimenting
on them, doing whatever. And he is somebody that he knows this has disappeared, or he has gotten clues to this is going on and is trying to tell people, look, this is going on, and nobody's going to take him seriously. And so he's trying to say, this is happening, this is what these people are doing, and nobody's taking him seriously, and he's got to go through and try to uncover it, and which can include doing things like getting on stage and, this is the guy, I got to get to him. The only way I can do it is being in that chorus and, acting the part.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun.
I think it could work.
So I like the idea for the big bad being a vampire in this case.
Oh, duh.
Because
vampire lord specifically.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Werewolves aren't going to do any kind of social maneuvering. They're just going to rip you to shreds if they fight you. Some vampires will too,
Depending on the style.
Depending on the style, but
we can go with that.
But vampires are kind of the quintessential, I don't need to ever fight you to beat you of urban fantasy.
Master manipulators.
So, if we have it be a vampire who is going around eating humans, or, drinking them dry, really, and he can't just go up and fight this vampire because he doesn't know where this vampire is. So he has to.
You could also say that vampires can actually link their souls to people, so even if you kill the vampire, if they have a vessel still alive, then they could just take over them. If you do that, then that would mean that that he literally can't just figure out who he is and then just go attack him. He has to systematically remove the connections.
Yeah, or you can do a number of things, but regardless, though that's less vampiric than it is
Yeah, I guess that's
Snatcher.
more of a demon kind of thing.
However, if you then, so he can't actually, so anytime he encounters a monster throughout the story, he can just casually do some cool stuff and kill it. But the actual story is him going around and basically playing detective when that is totally not his specialty. Trying to basically work through a bunch of social situations or a bunch of mental situations.
To talk his way into
where he goes into the crime scene to investigate the guy the vampire has murdered, but there are problems in it, and so he starts tampering with it on his own, and then that actually throws his search off, causing him to look in the wrong place because he tampered with his own crime scene. And so then later he has to go, okay, no, I have to learn to work with these things instead of stopping me. And then as he overcomes and works with his mental problems to live with them, at the end he finally is able to confront the vampire lord and shoots him with a crossbow through the heart, stakes him, and then
well, you have this
seals
final
him away.
epic big battle, and everyone's like, "You defeated the king," and he goes, "Yeah, and I asked a girl on a date." And they're like,
Okay, who's the girl?
"Who's the girl?"
Yeah, he needs a love interest.
Someone connected to the vampire in some way.
Yeah.
Or connected to, or someone who's connected to.
Or a
A
reporter.
means to get to.
Oh, a reporter.
She's a she's a reporter trying to find the truth. She doesn't make a huge amount of money because a lot of the bosses in her company don't actually care so much about the fact that vampires are on the streets. Then
nobody's gonna believe it.
Yeah, no one's gonna believe that, even though she's searching for this. And she's like, no, I'm pretty sure this is
style stuff.
And they're going, no, bring that to the tabloids. We only take serious news here. And
give us celebrity gossip.
Yeah, and then
like
he actually has to seek her out in order to get some of the information she knows.
And of course doesn't want his name in the paper.
Yes, exactly. And so he's having to kind of interact with her, but he has no idea. He's in love with her, and he has no idea how to ask her out.
And this could also be very funny because you also could get him when he's first trying to interact with her. You know, he wants to remain anonymous. He doesn't want attention, just no. So he's trying to do things. And
she's looking for a story.
Right. But he's trying to do things when he first meets her so she can't tell who he is. I could see him coming in when, with some kind of just very comic mask over his head, a big bear head or something, what's going on. I am, someone without a name.
I am
Mr. Bear.
Someone without a name. Probably wouldn't wear a bear head. No, it would probably be a hood and a mask, but it would probably be whatever mask you can get.
What's available.
Exactly.
Mine's near, so you could come.
But it probably wouldn't be like a giant bear mascot head, is what I'm saying. It would be like maybe a mask or something.
I mean, unless he's infiltrating a high school.
It could be a hockey mask.
Because that's not creepy at all.
Well, maybe that is their first encounter. Is
she got a hockey mask and a hood, and she's like,
she pepper sprays him. That did not go very well.
That didn't go according to plan.
This is why I don't like talking to girls. This is what happens when you talk to girls.
I must put that on my flow chart.
Yeah.
I think we could have some fun with this.
And then next time he just throws a brick through her window with a message on it.
They're vandalizing things, but
He for the window that was open.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh.
Anything else, or are we good with this one?
I think we're good.
Idea.
Now the question is, you would be able to write this kind of story.
I could write this kind of story, but it's not fully developed yet, so it would take a lot to do.
My
but
problem is I don't understand their mental illnesses well enough to accurately represent any more than
You
just
understand it better than we do.
Asperger's.
Oh, yes, but Asperger's people are so fun to write because they are so most intelligent, so brilliantly smart, but so
Clueless
socially
and-
awkward.
In
Yeah.
so many other
A lot.
situations.
But-
They can be fun
I mean,
to
you
write.
could do
and
this
make
with
great
just
heroes.
Asperger's, but I don't. That's the only mental illness that I'm actually have experienced in my life, so I'm not very good with anything else. So if it was specifically about Asperger's, I could probably write it.
It would take some research.
Yeah, it would
To-
definitely
to
take
do it-
research
to
to
do
do
a
this one
really good
justice.
It
job
would
of it.
definitely take really, really, really developing this character in depth because he's got to really overcome, he's got to really learn, he's got to
The
really
whole
see
point
it
is
grow.
that he doesn't have to overcome a physical challenge, but a
Right.
mental one.
And so you
His-
would have
himself.
to know how this guy thinks and really develop him. So if you want to write this story, feel free. Really analyze your main character with whatever you know awkwardness you give him, and why is he that way? How did he get that way? Really, what does he have to overcome? What kind of brilliance? Because a lot of times when you have one place you're weak, you're brilliant in something else. You're
Something else.
I think in this case he's brilliant in monster fighting.
Yeah. But maybe he remembers everything. Maybe he, whatever
Yeah.
his.
Maybe he remembers every
Maybe it
single
hel-
monster he's ever fought, and that's how
Well,
he's so
maybe
good
it
at
helps
it.
him
With
with
everyone's
killing
weakness.
monsters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
whatever.
really think of developing this and developing so you know that world, and this could make a good story.
All right. Well, have fun. Goodbye.